It's been a while, and the pandemic doesn't seem to relent anytime soon. While things have got back in order to a degree, the feeling of normalcy has not set in as yet. Slowly and steadily, as we adjust to the new normal, our viewing habits have changed too. So, while initially often scanning through something light-hearted to watch, this month I'm recommending movies and web shows that are intense and a little different. First up is Juvenile Justice that you can see on Netflix. How do you tell if someone is telling the truth or lying to your face? It can be difficult to decipher, especially when the person is underage. This courtroom drama, directed by Hong Jong-chan, revolves around a female judge who is known for her dislike of kids, but still gets assigned to juvenile court. Every episode is a new case about how she exacts justice for the victim. What I liked about the drama is that they don't whitewash anyone. Even the protagonist has flaws. Every episode weaves into the other so beautifully that you don't feel like you're watching a series, but a very long movie. At no point does the story waver or bore you. Despite the slow progress of every episode, you will be glued till the end. The series will also shake your faith in the innocence of children, so be prepared to watch this one. Next up is Taxi Driver, which you will find on Netflix again. Released in 2020, this series is actually inspired by real life crimes in Korea. But I love the fictitious twist to it. The series revolves around a deluxe taxi service that helps people take revenge instead of committing suicide. It operates as a different kind of suicide helpline. To add to the thrill, the lawmakers catch a whiff of the service. It then goes on to become an interesting cat and mouse game that can end either way. The writing is crisp and to the point, maintaining the pace yet slowing down in traumatic flashbacks. Brilliant performance by Lee Jung-woo and Isom as they sift through a myriad of emotions, especially when they are so close to going over the line. This one is especially great for those who like the crime genre. Next up is the 2019 movie The Best of Enemies. The film is based on the book The Best of Enemies, Race and Redemption in the New South by Osha Gray Davidson. It focuses on the rivalry between civil rights activist Ann Atwater and Ku Klux Klan leader C.P. Ellis. It shows how these two people with different ideologies and beliefs become lifelong friends. Dialogue between two disagreeing parties to come to the consensus for the education of African American children and to show that in a span of 2 hours was a difficult task that first-time writer Robin Bissell undertook. Taraji P. Henson and Sam Rockwell's brilliant performance, from dialogue delivery to mannerisms to the walk, will make you forget the actors behind the mask of their characters. Besides the performance, the script feels more authentic as it did not focus on the drama rather than the emotions of the people involved. Despite high tensions driving the narrative, it throws light on the racial discrimination, making you sit back and count your privilege. It makes you wonder how far we've come and makes you believe that kindness plays a very strong hand in how the world evolves. So watch this one, but don't forget to carry lots of tissues. This Disney Plus Hotstar docu-series, Pam and Tommy, released sometime in March this year. It's based on the true story of Pamela Anderson and Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee's infamous sex tape. After seeing Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier from the Marvel Universe, it was not easy to recognize him initially as Tommy. Both he and Lily James commit to the performance that sometimes make you wonder if the real actors are playing themselves. It seems all heart as these two actors get into the skin of their characters without making it seem like a mimicry. The script is funny and a must-watch for those who enjoy dark comedy. We can't end this month's recommendation without mentioning Modern Love Mumbai. I have with me my colleague Mohar Basu, who will talk about the show and the series and what we really liked about it.
So, Letty, thank you for having me here. Modern Love Mumbai. When the first time I heard it, I was like, this is going to go wrong. Because I don't think Modern Love is very intrinsically Mumbai in that way. It's a very New York thing, and New York Times has made it so popular that I just couldn't see a Desi version. Thankfully, the directors have proven me wrong. And how? So, I want to know from you, which was your favorite?
After watching all the 6 stories, Raat Rani, which had Fatima Sana Sheikh, I think that was the best expression of love, self-love. Like, if you can't love yourself, you can't love anyone else.
Absolutely. So I agree with you on that. Raat Rani was one of my favorites too. I thought Fatima was stellar. The performance is so heartfelt and so warm. And she's so it's such a joy to have women find the agency on screen, right?
True. I mean, crossing the flyover got a real new meaning after that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you on that. But you know, my favorite is something else. I really like Dhruv Sehgal's I Love Thane.
Oh,
I thought Dhruv kind of brings that very easy, conversational romance into the story, and it's very little things in some ways. But I really thought the chemistry of Ritvik and Masaba was so nice that it hit home for me.
the other story that I liked was Bai.
Absolutely.
While I think Ranveer Brar should stick to cooking and doing cooking reality shows, I think Pratik Gandhi was so effortlessly beautiful in the series. As in, he the emotion that you could feel the emotion within. At least I felt it. What do you think?
So my favorite thing about Bai, more than the whole theme of Love is Love, and the performance of Pratik Gandhi, dude, Ali Sethi's Chandni Raat, love it.
That song was beautiful.
But the social context of Bai is what elevates it to a different level. That whole scene where Tanuja says, नफरत फैलाने वाले अक्सर बिकाऊ होते हैं. My God, that's a line to remember. That's a line to remember in the current socio-political climate.
True.
And the performances were so good. I don't entirely agree with the Ranveer Brar bit, but my only problem with Bai as a film was the fact that there was very little of Bai, your central character, the person who is the name of your film. So I felt that was a little bit of I had a different expectation from the movie, but the movie didn't disappoint me at all.
The other one was Mumbai Dragon. I don't know. I liked the central character. I think she was a fabulous actor. And of course, Nasruddin Shah is essential. Even if he's there for like 5 seconds, he just elevates the story to another level. But I didn't really connect with that story somehow. I just felt that somewhere it was so done.
So I have a different take on Mumbai Dragon. I'll tell you why I kind of liked the shot a little. So I come from Calcutta, where an entire community of Chinese people live in Tangra. And I've grown in that area so much, and I've met the Chinese community and how they are holding on to their roots. So that aspect of Mumbai Dragon really hit home for me. Like the woman, she just insists on speaking in Cantonese because she's like, I will not speak in Hindi. I get it. I completely understand what she's saying. So her headspace was so relatable, and the performances are so good. Mayank Chang is so good in the film.
Really?
Yeah, I really thought that. I thought it's very good in the film. So I just feel the performances elevated it.
Yeah.
And it hit home for a very different reason, because it comes from a place and a space that I understand.
Mohar.
Though I didn't think Vamika Gabbi is great. I thought that
that she was lost somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was not explored well. Something about that part of the film didn't connect with me. But of course, it's a Vishal Bhardwaj film and a lot of stuff works in it. So, especially the performances. Those are indisputable.
Let's talk about the Arshad Varsi and Chitrangda Singh's Cutting Chai. I like Arshad Varsi. I think he's so easy on the eyes and screen, But I love the connotations of Mumbai. I think that was the only place where they spoke about Mumbai. And showed so much of Mumbai. But I somehow felt Chitrangda was not the right fit. There was no chemistry between them. There was no...
I suppose that was a point of it, that, it's a couple who's kind of fallen apart, right? And I do think Arshad's performance was so affable. He was just so sweet on screen that you like it. You try to like it. But I agree, it didn't work for me as a movie. The Mumbai part worked, of course, because I'm in love with Mumbai. So that worked. But the movie itself, I think it tries to make a point, but it doesn't quite. Really, it falls a little short.
The last shot in that, directed by Alankrita Srivastav, My Beautiful Wrinkles, I just thought that it was different. I mean, normally there's a good chance of that story being overtly sexual or overtly cringe, but it was so beautiful where you feel a fantasy. You don't have to act out your fantasies, I thought that was so subtle and so beautifully done. I hear that you didn't really exactly like the story much.
No, it didn't work for me. I think something to do with the performances. I just didn't see. I think the authentic touch of it was missing for me. It just didn't hit home because of the performances. The chemistry doesn't work. Something about it just didn't work for me. I couldn't pinpoint what, but I do agree with you in the understatedness with which Alankrita brings, female sexuality on screen. I think she's a master of it. And by that, I just don't mean female sexuality. Like I remember Made in Heaven's last episode where she shot the whole sequence with Arjun Mathur and Vikrant Masi. I think it's so beautifully done. That said, this particular film doesn't work for me, but I'm glad that you liked it.
That's it from our end. Stay tuned to this space for more recommendations. Whether you agree or disagree, please let us know in the comments below. Thank you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.